Alright, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another Outriders video. Now this one I really didn't think I was going to have to make, but right now as of today, it doesn't look too good for the game. Now we're going to be talking about a few things in this video that includes all the problems that have happened so far since the item restoration about a week ago. We're going to be talking about the playbase, how it's pretty terrible right now, and also Reddit with a community manager that made an amazing post over on Reddit responding to a lot of the problems and a lot of the hate over there, and he basically just talks about what is actually going on. This game does have great potential, it is an absolutely amazing game, but there are things that need to be fixed for it to get there. And I also want to hear your thoughts about everything we're going to be talking about in this video. So let's start off with what has happened since the first week of the game dropping. So as of everyone knows, even people that haven't played the game, the character and inventory wipes. That happened the first week of the game. Now with that happening, a bunch of people just stopped playing the game. They either got refunds or just stopped caring about it and moved on, which really did contribute to the playbase dropping pretty heavily. Now obviously with that came a lot of bugs and a lot of problems with the game that didn't get fixed quite fast enough. Now fast forward about 3 weeks to a month later, we finally got the item restoration, and it was a big disaster. The key facts about this was basically people were getting way too many legendaries on god rolls in their inventories when they came back to playing the game after only playing for a few days. They had no reason to play again because they have way too many things that they didn't have already, which took away from playing the game. Not only with the legendaries being god rolls, the damage was as high as you could possibly get after probably grinding for weeks on end up to months. It's the final damage possible, and they just got it free. People that didn't lose anything were also getting this. People that didn't lose anything got way too many items in their inventory that they didn't already have. People that did lose items didn't get anything back. They basically just had their character restored without any legendaries or anything like that. People were getting the exact same loadouts returned, where that shouldn't be happening because the people that were playing obviously didn't have the exact same loadout to start off with. People who already had good items and legendaries and god rolls in their inventories lost everything and got worse items in return. Now this isn't the full factor to why the playbase has dropped since release at 130,000 players to now 10,000 players. People are just not interested because they've just gotten everything for free and all the bugs and stuff like that in the game. I do understand what they were trying to do by giving people and the community back after what has happened with their characters being wiped. I truly do understand, but they went about it the wrong way. By giving everyone the best loot possible just wasn't the right thing to do. Yes, you could have given them maybe 1 or 2 good, very good legendaries, but giving people like 20 items just wasn't the right idea. Mods and abilities still do not work as they should be. Players cannot sign in after moving from PlayStation to Xbox and so forth. They still cannot sign in. Mods can be stacked where they shouldn't be. And the endgame and game overall was way too overhyped for its release date. Now, with everything that I said comes to, the game is great. The game has a great, amazing foundation, but it is not polished for release. Endgame was just not there. Expeditions aren't just, they are just not great, okay? They're basically like doing strikes over and over again from Destiny, but it's just not, it's very stale and very boring very quickly. Eye of the Storm was said to be an amazing endgame activity where it's not for the casual playbase. You're gonna have to put some time into the game to be able to do it, but it's only a 1-room activity, and yes, you could complete it in about 2 to 3 minutes. It is pretty damn easy to do. Now endgame with expeditions, like I said, there are expeditions that can take up to 20 minutes complete, but there are some that are much easier and can be done in about 3 minutes. I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. With Boomtown and Campland, why would you do something that takes 15 minutes where you could do something that takes 3 minutes and get better loot anyway? Now like I said, there are a bunch of problems in the game right now that are causing the player base to drop from 130,000 to 10,000 daily players. Now that comes from release to 130,000 to today to about 10,000. It is very, very bad for the game, and it's a very deep hole that I'm not sure they can get themselves out from. So I want to hear your thoughts about everything we just talked about so far. There are a few more things I'm going to be talking about further on in this video, because remember, you are the community, you are the player base. Down in the comments is the way for your voice to be heard. So make sure you post down below your thoughts. So next we're going to be talking about what is going over at Reddit. Now I'll try to sum this up as simple and as quick as possible so the video isn't too long. The first thing is going to be about some of the bugs you can actually see happening right in front of your eyes, like the damage bug. You can see it in the character menu. Your character will take damage as soon as you load up the game. I'll try to put some gameplay for you guys to see what I'm talking about. This will be the first link in the description. The second one is going to be the Reddit post that the community manager, the Archon, responded to and made some pretty good points. I've never seen a community manager be this open and transparent with a post ever. So it starts off by him saying PCF needs to follow EA's example by communicating better with the player base, preferably with a community manager much like Forge. Be candid about the issues, addresses our concerns with more than we are working on it, and provided concrete roadmaps of what's being updated, when and why. Elsewise, the future releases will not be big, as too many people will just pass it or at least wait a while to see if it's worth it. Then he goes on to say, Outriders is currently a bug-filled train wreck, and the attempts at patching the issues have gone horribly awry. The game should not have been shipped in this condition. It was not ready at all, with testing results being just ignored in the boardroom. Anyway, if you look at it, we got screwed into paying AAA price for a B+ game. The outrage is real and deserved. Then he goes on to say Outriders had great potential pre-patch. If you could log in without having your inventory wiped, it was fun. You could really have a blast playing the game. The Akari spider fight was great. He wishes for there to be more bosses and mini bosses because they are great to do. And he basically said he had a lot of time enjoying himself doing expeditions and wanted and the hunts repeatedly, because it gives you the chance to try out different builds and test out the environment. You could play expeditions to get the perfect builds that you wanted to, but again, it did get quite stale for a lot of people. And then he goes over to say, in a perfect scenario, the lack of content would be rectified by new modes and activities added by DLCs if things had gone well. But then he goes on to say the perfect scenario is not there. The current state is best summed up as a dumpster fire. However, if PCF is willing to put in some elbow grease, they could turn it around. So then the community manager responded to this, and it's pretty lengthy, so I'm not going to talk about everything. It will be down in the description for you guys to read the entire thing. So he goes on to say, truth to be told, nobody in any team is purposely trying to limit what we or I am allowed to say or talk about. There is no one at PCF or SE telling me that I can't say or talk about certain things. He goes on to say, my reply was entirely misinterpreted by certain elements in the community, and an entire week was spent where the sub and therefore content creators and their audiences quite literally misquoted me. And by misquoted I literally mean the devs don't give a shit about us or what, and look at what they said kind of thread titles. Basically he's trying to say that people are just completely misquoting the developers and what they are saying. Basically just looking at the bad things and taking the bad things and only talking about that. So this page is basically just him being completely open and transparent about what is going on with the development team and the community managers and what they are talking about behind the scenes when they are not talking about it publicly. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll leave it down in the description. It is pretty good what he talks about, and he is clear with the things that he talks about. So that will be down in the description. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it what I want to talk about today. The community manager responded to our good post talking about what the problems are and how they aren't being transparent with us. And then the community manager comes in and just talks about everything. So there you go. That's pretty much it for this video. I wanted to talk about what was going over at Reddit and the biggest problems in the game right now. And I want to see your thoughts about everything. So hopefully you guys did enjoy, and I'll see you all on the next one.